What's up, guys? Welcome to Poland's Garage. So today we are Justin's house and we're gonna be working on the Mercedes SL. So we're gonna be replacing the radiator because Justin made his first big boy purchase and spent like $600 on the radiator, but it's an OEM Mercedes part.
Yeah, old stock.
New old stock that will fit right in here. So we're gonna be showing you kinda and giving you the idea of how hard or how easy it is to take it apart.
I already started because I didn't know we were going to be filming today, but it's pretty easy. You have the fan shroud. So the first thing you want to do is this will be facing, where are you? Up like this. So it'll line up like this, and you just twist it like, or it'll be like this, sorry. And you just go like this, push this back over the fan, and then there are two little clips. These are the big boy clips, but they're like this one right here. That'll be right here, and there'll be another one right here. Just take a screwdriver and just pop them right off. They're not going to break, they're metal. Then you just, this will be on like this. You just lift up, make sure it doesn't get caught on the fan.
Yeah, the fan is a hassle to like deal around the fan.
And then you just tilt it up like this, and then you just lift straight up like that. And set that. You don't have to set it there, but that's where I'm setting it.
You also have those ginormous clips, which is actually a great idea. And those ones are the ones that are holding the radiator in. So that's a pretty cool idea.
Yeah,
it's a quick release.
You literally, they'll be like this. You just put your finger right there and lift right up. And that fully disconnects the radiator from the top.
Yeah.
And then after that, I already disconnected this too, but this is a trans line.
Yeah, because this radiator has a built-in transmission cooler as well.
So you just unscrew that and then just set it back right there. A little trans fluid will come out the top, not a lot. It more comes out the bottom. So you will want to get either OEM fluid or fluid that is, you could get the OEM Mercedes fluid or fluid that will be okay in this transmission.
We're gonna show you the fluid that we got. It's not an OEM Mercedes part, but when we get to that, to filling the transmission after we are done replacing this, we're gonna show you what fluid we used.
Okay, so after that, all you're gonna want to do is take these. This is a combination bolt, or you could use a, I think it's a 7 or an 8, a flat blade or a Phillips screwdriver. I already loosened them, so you just pull this one back. Same thing with this one. Now this one isn't OEM. I put this one on. This is OEM, but the thread was stripped, so I put this one on. And then it's just as simple as popping this off. Now at your home, you're gonna want to drain the petcock. It's on the bottom. I'll show you once we pull the radiator out. But there's no coolant in this car. It's just water. So I don't mind taking it off and having it spill. It's not going to hurt anything. So you just want to take it off. And then I usually set it up like this, but for easier access, just pull that right off.
It's not really that much more work, but it's easier to just work around it when you have more space, because as you can see, there is not really that much space in here to work, so any little bit can help.
All right, and then there are 3 lines down there. It's a little hard to see, and it's the same thing. There's a radiator hose that comes from the tank, the reservoir tank, and then there's the return to the engine down there, and there's the lower trans cooler. Once you undo that, then you just have to undo, there's 7 of these bolts. There's one back there.
So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and then you want to undo this one as well. And this whole part slides out.
Will slide out. You don't have to take it off, but it makes it a lot easier. Then you'll just have another set of 3 10mm bolts right here, here, and here. That will separate the AC condenser from the radiator. Now, I heard somewhere, I don't know if it's true, some European models, if you live in Europe, didn't come with AC. So you won't have to do that step if they're not there, obviously.
But it's probably like 99% of them came with AC.
So you just undo that, and then I'll show you once we get there. You just lift the condenser up, set it back, and then the radiator just slides right up.
Alright guys, so as you could have seen, Justin got the support out and also disconnect the radiator from the condenser. So now we're just gonna slide the, well, we have to still undo the hoses down there, and we're gonna just slide the radiator out. All right, so I went ahead and disconnect the 3 hoses down there. We're gonna show you right in a second which one are those. And Justin's gonna just slide the radiator out first.
So before you just slide it out, you got the condenser hangs on the radiator, so you just gotta pull it back on both sides. It could be a little bit of a pain to get it to go the first time. You know, it's been sitting in here for a while, but once you get it undone,
you literally just slide it out. So
this is how the radiator will be sitting in the car. The petcock is right here, so if you're at home, you want to just loosen that.
It's literally just in front right here on this side of your bumper.
There's a plastic engine under belly cover thing, whatever you want to call it. You just take that off and pop that off.
And
have
this
a drain
is where
catch.
the condenser sits in this?
Yeah, on both sides.
On both sides. And right here are the hoses that I was talking about. So you have 2 radiator hoses right here and right here. So these 2 go to the radiator fluid, but this one right here and this one right here are the transmission cooler lines. So you have to make sure you disconnect those. Those might be a little bit tricky since you don't have the fan off, but you can still get to them.
And then the only other thing, the only problem I really had taking this radiator out, because the bolt was rusty, you have a bolt that holds this right here, and that holds the top transline cooler up here. For me, this thing did not want to come off. Eventually I got it, but just so you have a reference.
And it's this line right here. So this is the top one, and it bolts right down in there. It holds in there, and it was a hassle to take it out, but once it's out, it's out. So now
we're gonna pull the brand new or new old stock radiator out of its box.
Oh, okay.
And this is it.
So as you can see, it's exactly the same thing. It has the plugs right here and right here. And yeah, it's the same thing, just brand new.
Yep. And this is the back side.
Yeah, and here we have this is the front of this radiator. As you can see, right here are the mounts. Here's your drain plug. Everything is in the same spot.
Yep. So now we're gonna put it in.
And this is the model, just in case you need it. Yeah. So just in case you need it, here's the model number. Well, do you want to flash the black first, or
Yeah, I'm just gonna move this over.
Okay.
Because I think what happened was someone put, we think not the head gasket, the heater core leaks.
Yeah.
So we're gonna flush the block out because we think someone put that head gasket sealer type sand shit, whatever you want to call it, through the system, because we're almost positive the heater core leaks. That's why this old one got clogged. So we're gonna flush the block out, make sure there's no more sand, so we don't have to buy another $600 radiator.
Because if you would have watched the last video about the Mercedes that we posted, we actually did a flash on this old radiator, and there was a bunch of like sand shit coming out of it. So that's what we are thinking. But hopefully this doesn't happen to this radiator. So let's just quickly flush the block first.
Yep.
So what we are doing right now, we're flushing the block. At least we're doing like a back flush. Basically, we took off that little hose that goes right here, the little angle hose. We put the garden hose in here and let the water go, because we have the radiator disconnected right there. So all the water just floats out of the engine. And that's pretty smart idea, even if there is nothing in there, nothing really dirty in there. It's still smart to do it so we don't clog the new radiator, and you should probably do it too if you're replacing the radiator. Alright, so I hope you guys can hear me because the compressor is filling up with air. But what Justin's gonna do right now, he's using the shop vac to push out the water out of the system.
This is a very ghetto way of doing it, but it'll get the job done because I don't want any tap water in the system. I want it all fresh, brand new coolant.
So that's why we're gonna plug it right in there, and hopefully the water comes down right there.
I think it's good. Not much came out, but there's probably not a lot in the block. It's probably all just fell out by gravity. So
hopefully that water, there was some water coming out. I don't know if you guys could see it on the camera or no, But now we're gonna install the whole radiator back in.
Well, we're gonna put this back on. This is a little hose that goes from the thermostat to the block.
This is where we were back flushing the radiator.
Yeah, normally you want to pull out the thermostat, but I already put new gasket maker on that
housing.
Already put new gasket maker on the housing, so I don't want to take it back off because I don't have any left. So I just bypassed the thermostat and flushed it, or back flushed it from right there. You also want to do the heater core. We already did that, but we forgot to film it, but we already did that, so it's all taken care of. For now, it's just to put this back on. You do want to replace this, but as of right now, I'm not going to, but you should.
That compressor takes forever to fill up.
Yes, it does.
Jesus Christ.
You could shout out to Spencer, really Spencer's dad, because that's his air compressor, but it kind of ended up in my house and it's never left.
Alright, so as you guys could see, the radiator is back in. Now we just have to put the hoses back on, the shroud, and we're gonna what we're gonna do, we're gonna vacuum the system to make sure there's no air in it, and then we're gonna refill it with coolant, and hopefully there's no more overheating.
Yep, hopefully. We're gonna find out here in a sec.
Alright guys, so everything is put back together. Kind of sucks because you cannot even see the brand new radiator that you spend money on, but everything looks pretty clean.
Yeah.
And yeah, we're gonna fill it. Well, we have to vacuum out the system first, and we're gonna see if it overheats or. Alright guys, so this is the very fancy but broken tool that we will be using to suck the air out of the system.
So basically what this thing does is it puts a full vacuum on the system, so there's no air in the system. Once the gauge normally would go up and that would tell you when it's done. Just wait about 5 minutes roughly and it'll be fine.
Yep.
And then we'll show you what you do after it's been 5 minutes. So if you want to just watch what happens to the hose when I turn this valve.
As you can see, it sucked out the hose in. So it means, that means it's working. So we're gonna get back to you in like 5 minutes or so. We have a timer right here, and we're gonna refill it with coolant.
And now that there's a vacuum on the system, you can just simply put this, you attach this part, you close off this valve and put this on, and you could just simply dump it in there. But to make it easier so we don't have to stop it, we're just gonna pour it into this bucket right here, and then suck it all out of the bucket. And once it fills up on the reservoir, then we're gonna start the car, take it around the block, and the coolant level will drop once the thermostat's open. A little bit, but not a lot. Just add a little bit more coolant. There'll be no air bubbles, you don't have to worry about that. Want to give a shout out to my friend Caesar for letting me borrow this tool. He works with me at Ford, so without him, we'd be having to sit here and getting the air bubbles out the old-fashioned way, which fucking blows. So,
no swearing in these videos.
Which blows.
Okay. And also, this is the coolant that we are using. It's the blue one, as you can see. It looks like Kool-Aid, but don't drink it.
So putting a little bit of distilled water in won't hurt. This is already pre-mixed, so we live up in California. It doesn't snow unless you live up north by Mammoth or Big Bear, so just do this.
I don't know if you saw how quickly that sucked out the line filled so quickly. And I was just pouring the coolant in the system.
All right, and then he's gonna just put a light here to see when it starts to fill up.
So we pour the car on the level ground over here, and as we are waiting for the thermostat to open, for the car to warm up so we can add more coolant to it, we have to top it off with the transmission fluid. And this is the transmission fluid we are using, the Dextron 6. And it says to use in the GM vehicles, but I guess this is the right one to use. So, and we used this one before, and so far nothing happened. So we're gonna top it off right now. All right guys, so we are finally in the SL. Doesn't seem like it's overheating. We had it running for about what, 20 minutes, 15 minutes maybe.
Yeah, about that.
So that the water dropped. We filled it up all the way. It took both gallons, so the both bottles are gone. We top it off distillator water. We still have a little bit left in the car just in case we need it, but now we're gonna take it for a spin. But so far it doesn't seem like it's overheating.
This is the gauge right here,
And it's on the
and
right
right
spot.
now it's just a smidge above 80.
But that's fine.
That's normal.
Yes.
If it gets above 100, that's what it usually does, is it would creep up to 100, sit there, and then it would start to slowly go up. So we'll see if this is it.
We're still driving and the car is not overheating. So how do you feel about it?
So far, so good. We're gonna drive it around just to make sure for sure that it's not gonna overheat. But so far, it's sitting just a smidge above 80, which is actually dead on perfect.
All right guys, so we are on the freeway right now. As hopefully you can see, it's kind of dark, but we are still driving. We made it all the way through our little semi valley, and now we're coming back. And it feels really nice and really smooth so far. We are going about 65 obviously, and it feels nice, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's actually, I was expecting it to be a little bit rough, but it actually drives pretty smooth.
Surprisingly, this is the first real test drive in what, 11 years?
Yeah, it's been 11 years since this car has gone this fast.
And it's making pretty well. So we're gonna see you at the house. Alright guys, so we are back. As you can see, the SL is still running. It did not overheated or anything. No issues whatsoever. Knock on wood for now.
Yeah, we drove it for about, what, 2 hours roughly?
Probably something like hour and a half, yeah.
Yeah,
something
somewhere
like
around there, and temperature just a little bit above, I would say about 80 and 85, and that is 100% normal, probably even a little bit better than normal. But
well, that's good. So as you can see, the radiator fixed it. So it's both. You can see the update on the SL and also how to replace the radiator on the SL. So if you enjoyed, don't forget to give it a like, subscribe, stay tuned, and see you next time.